Media mail is the best deal in the whole U.S. post office. Prices keep going up on media mail, but prices go up on all other types of mails, and media mail has remained the best deal of all. If you have a lot of weight in a box that are books, you ship them media mail, and you won't find a cheaper way to ship them. Even UPS, nothing. I assume part of this goes back to freedom of the press and all of that, although I don't know why the press gets all the freedom to write what they want, but we don't. If you write what you want to write on some sort of social network, you probably will get kicked off. But the press, no problem. But if you need to send books or anything that qualifies as media mail, use media mail. It's always one of the options you're allowed to select whenever you create an eBay description. A lot of things qualify, a lot of things don't that you would think should. For example, books, of course, qualify. CDs, videotapes, records, all of that, as long as they're not blank. You can't send blank cassette tapes, blank VHS tapes through the mail using media rate service. But if there's content on them, whether you recorded it or if it's some movie or something or a record that has music on it, you're able to send that via media mail. You can even send piano rolls. I sell a lot of player piano rolls from like the 20s and 30s and 40s. You'll be surprised how many you run across. They don't sell for a lot, but they sell. I'll do a video on them sometime. I guess piano rolls were like audio CDs of the 1920s because they qualify for media mail. Really, it's amazing. Anything with advertising does not qualify for media mail. That means comic books, you can't ship those by media mail. That means magazines, you can't ship magazines by media mail. But Greg, I hear you out there, but Greg, what about all of those listings I see? I'm trying to sell magazines and all my competitors are selling the same magazines and they're able to ship for a lot less because they're using media mail. How can they do that? They break the law, that's how. I don't want to commit a crime in order to sell more. It's just not in my nature, and it shouldn't be in your nature either. How long can they get away with it? Well, the way my universe works, if I did it one time, I'd be caught. They might do it 100 times, but eventually they're going to be caught. The post office reserves the right to open all packages, and they open a lot of media mail that they suspect is not really media mail, doesn't really qualify. And you don't want to be the sender of something that doesn't qualify as media mail. You'll be in a lot of trouble. Worst case, you're going to pay a lot of money. Your buyer's not going to get the package. It's all going to be a mess. Why would you risk your business to do that? So stick to things you know qualify for media mail. Books, records, CDs, all the things I mentioned, piano rolls, audio, CDs, things like that. Video games don't qualify for media mail, by the way. So just because it comes on a disc doesn't mean it's media mail qualified. Now, I recently listed a book from 1910 that is definitely an antique book. Anything over 100 years old is antique. So you can put the word antique on anything. As of the time of this recording, July of 2024, anything from 1924 or earlier, you're able to put the word antique in the title or whatever. In the item specifics where it says antique, yes or no, you can click yes as long as it's over 100 years old. I have a book that's antique. In the book world, you should click antique if you have that option in your item specifics. But book collectors, they're aloof. They're above the crowd. They like to say antiquarian. This antiquarian book. They're not big on this antique book. This antiquarian book. So anyway, keep that in mind. It'll impress your friends at the next cocktail party you go to. I had this book from 1910 that I was trying to sell, and it is this one. The Century Magazine, volume 57, from 1909 to 1910. Now, I told you cannot ship magazines through the mail, but this is a book that is a collection of magazines from that time period, from November 1909 to April 1910. So that's a half of year's volumes of this magazine that way back in the past, the publisher, after they released each magazine month by month, a year or so later, or maybe later that year, they released a half year on hardback form. And what the publisher did was remove all the ads. And this is common. National Geographic used to batch up 6 or 12 of their issues and sell them in a hardcover book form, all of their articles and pictures and things like that, but they would remove all advertisements. So this is a collection of magazines, but it's totally legit to sell it via media mail. And that's what I did. Now, when I listed it, I did a sell similar on that listing so that you can see what I've done here. I have pictures. So, oh, Greg, you overdo pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 21, 22 pictures for one book. I'm surprised I didn't do 24, the max, but I did 22. Well, that's because I get better search engine coverage than any competitor. All things being equal, if they do fewer pictures, and they will, all things being equal, I will rank higher in the search engine. So will you. Notice all pictures are square. The first picture has a white background. Everything I've taught you. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Oh, let's look at the category that this is in. The category is in magazines. See that right there? Item category, magazines. Because it's magazines. Now, the category, I could have selected books. It makes more sense to put this book in the magazine category because a lot of people will search for magazines using the magazine item specifics, and they're going to want to find these old magazines, the Century magazine from way back when. The articles, the pictures, everything's really interesting. So I put them in magazines, as I think is the proper thing to do on this sort of item. And whenever it came all the way down to shipping, I chose, what do you think I chose? I chose medium mail because it's a book, medium mail. It's a large book, 5 pounds, 14 by 14 inches. That's what the package is going to be. It's a large book, 14 by, matter of fact, I wrapped it because I sold it right here in this big book. This hefty, 14 by 14 by 5. The book's in there well packed to be sent by medium mail because a 5-pound, 14 by 14 inch box, that's going to cost some money by Ground Advantage for the post office, especially Priority Mail or UPS or FedEx. It's going to cost some money to ship this book. So I want to use media rate, the cheapest way to send a book. Now, the drawback is it's slower. The buyer won't get it for a few extra days, but the buyer pays a lot less. Now, I give my buyer a chance. All of my shipping policies, they all have the option. If they want to upgrade, they can. They can choose Global Advantage or FedEx or UPS if they want. If they don't want me to ship by UPS, they can pay more and they'll get it faster. Almost everyone appreciates medium mail for books. So this was the listing. Here it sold, $27.33 this thing sold. And so, great, I want to ship it. I click on my awaiting orders and print mailing label for this book, come down, and I put 5 pounds. It's actually 4 pounds, 14 ounces or something like that. I just rounded it up to 5 pounds, 0 ounces. 14 by 14 by 5. That's this huge box here, huge for a book. And I want to choose medium mail, of course. So I go down and I choose, okay, $8.18. That seems kind of expensive to mail even a 5-pound book. That's pretty expensive. Why is that so much when it's medium mail? And I'll look over and it's not medium mail. It's USPS, Priority Flat Rate Mail Envelope. Well, there's no way I'm going to ship this book in a Priority Mail envelope. The book is too heavy to go in an envelope. It'd be damaged in shipment. Plus, that's too much money, really. Where's medium mail? It doesn't even show the buyer wanted that. So it's not like I accidentally offered Priority Mail flat rate envelope and the buyer chose it. There's nothing. You know what it usually says here? It usually says buyer selected, and it chooses the buyer's choice of shipping, and it puts it at the top. The buyer didn't choose this. I didn't choose this. No, I want to ship it medium mail. So I go down, well, that's not me. Let me look for more services. That's not medium mail. That's not medium mail. Even UPS Ground is a lot more expensive than Priority Mail flat rate, but that's because it's a flat rate envelope. This thing's not going to go in an envelope. Going down, where's medium mail? They don't have medium mail. Medium mail, buyer selected. Look at that. It's grayed out. Click, click, click. I can't choose that. There's nothing I can do to ship this book via medium mail on eBay. What's going on? What's going on is the category I listed this in. Do you remember what that was? Magazines. eBay knows that if I'm shipping magazines, I am not allowed to ship them by medium mail. So eBay doesn't even give me the option. Well, thanks eBay. The problem there is, why did you, knowing that I'm listing in the magazine category, knowing that it's listed, why did you let me choose media mail for the shipping option when you're not going to let me print a media mail label for this item because of the category? eBay should look at the item, but The AI bots aren't smart enough yet to say, well, it's really a book, so we could let him ship it medium mail. They just look at category, that's all they can do right now, and they say, we'll let you choose medium mail. And your buyer will just love medium mail. But whenever it comes time to print a mailing label, we're not letting you do medium mail because that would be illegal because these are magazines. And I'm going, no, it's not. It's a book. So what do you do? The best thing to do, you cannot go to the U.S. Postal website and print a label. Now, you can go to the post office website and print labels, but they've got to be priority mail labels, things like that. They do not allow us to print medium mail labels on the postal website. Why not? Well, I don't know. It's because they don't care. They're the government. They see no reason to give us options. What you need to do is go to Pirate Ship, pirateship.com. You should have an account with Pirate Ship. Now, used to, we would use Pirate Ship as eBay sellers a lot more than we do now because Pirate Ship allows for dimensional shipping. Now, eBay does too, but eBay didn't used to. If you had a 2-pound package that was going to a state next door and it was pretty small, you could ship it for a lot less on Pirate Ship than on eBay because eBay charged the same rate whether it was a 5 by 5 by 5 box or a 12 by 12 by 12 box. Pirate Ship uses dimensional shipping, so Pirate Ship charges less for a 5-cubed box versus a 12-cube box because it costs less to ship that sort of thing. But now eBay does dimensional packaging, and there's really not a great advantage to check Pirate Ship. There's still an advantage to having an account with Pirate Ship for several things. One, if you ever ship something just on your own, Pirate Ship's a great way to do it. It's usually cheaper than the post office. You've got options of UPS or whatever. You can use medium mail if you need to, whatever you want. Pirate Ship is a very freeing type of thing. And also insurance is generally less than using the postal website or even using eBay's insurance. There's another reason to go ahead and open up a Pirate Ship account, and that is you can choose medium mail when you print a label from Pirate Ship, no matter what category your item was sold in. So I'm going to log in to Pirate Ship, or as Dr. Lori says, Ship Pirate. She told me Ship Pirate one time. I didn't correct her. She's smarter than I am on so many things, just not on this. What you do is you click Import from eBay, and that will bring in all of your items that are ready to ship. Now, obviously, I'm graying out a bunch of stuff here because I don't want to put my buyer's name and address all over the internet. But this Century Magazine book is this third option, and what I can do is choose Get Rates. So I'm going to do that. This is how you will get around eBay not letting you ship by medium mail. So click Get Rates, and then you'll see where do you want to ship to and all of that. And what you want to do is scroll down, enter the dimensions, 14, 14, 5, and what was it, 5 pounds, 0 ounces, and then you need to choose Qualify for medium mail. Now, Pirate Ship, it will take your word for it. It'll say, if you say this qualifies, you don't have to convince us. So qualifies for medium mail, yeah, that's what I want to do. And then I will click Get Rates. If you don't see this option here, qualifies for medium mail, then your extra services is not expanded. And this is the default where it's closed up. So if you don't see medium mail here, all you do is click the plus sign, it'll open up, qualifies for medium mail. And whenever I've entered my dimensions, and it pulled from eBay the buyer's name and address. When you first sign up for Pirate Ship, you will say, I want you to connect to my eBay account. It'll go to eBay. eBay will say, do you want to let Pirate Ship have access to your account? We'll be careful what we share with them. And you go, yeah, it's all legit. It's all a good service. Pirate Ship and eBay work very well together. So that's how Pirate Ship knew all of the packages that I haven't printed labels for yet, and it allows me to do that. And here is how I will choose medium mail. I'll go ahead and click Get Rates. Let's see how much it costs. I'll have to hide the buyer's name and address, but that's no big deal. $7.63. That's still a lot for a book, but it's a lot cheaper than shipping a 5-pound item that's 14 by 14 inches by any other shipment. As a matter of fact, we can look at options here. We can ship by Ground Saver, that's $10. Ground US Ground Advantage, that's $11. UPS Ground, $14. Priority Mail, $17 because it's not a flat rate envelope, and it just goes up from there. So medium mail as always, has gone up in price, but it's relatively cheaper than everything else. And whenever you find that you sell a valid media item, like a book, you want to ship it medium mail, but you're not allowed to because of the category, go ahead and go to Pirate Ship and just print a label. No biggie, no big deal. You're not breaking the law. You're not doing anything wrong. And what happens is, as soon as I click buy label, it will let eBay know the tracking number, and eBay will show it as shipped or as mailing label printed. And then whenever I take it to the post office and they scan it in, then eBay will show it as shipped. So eBay knows everything that's going on here. eBay knows you printed a label. eBay won't offer to give you a label anymore because it knows you've had one. And then it'll all just be rosy. Tomorrow morning, whenever you're at the post office, you scan it in, and even though you did the label in Pirate Ship, eBay will know that you shipped on time. This is what you do when you've got a book like this that you had to sell in a different category. I have this other book that I'm finished with, I'm getting ready to sell. It's called How to Solve Half Your Problems. It's really an amazing book. It shows you how to solve 50% of every problem you have. And the great thing about me is I'm a pretty smart cookie. So what I did, I read it twice, and now all my problems are solved.